Alright, welcome back to Brigandine. Welcome back to Brigandine, the Legend of Runersia. I'm your host, veracitytrigger. Let's get into this today. We're going to be talking about Shinobi Knights today. We're going to talk about all the Shinobi stuff, get through all that, and move on. So, first up, Jose. So, Jose, I have turned into a barbarian.
And as usual, stay triggered. Pew pew, pew.
I want to show you that he was a barbarian. He was always a barbarian. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. Let's turn him back into a swordsman. because reasons. Okay, let's look at him as his swordsman stats here, and we'll see what is going on here. So, as a swordsman, he has a banana sword, a scimitar, a light armor, a gauntlet, and a ring. And as you can see here, he's got some decent stats here. As level 19, he has a 4 command range. Character growth is a D, which isn't all that good, but a C is actually not so bad. So, you know, rune growth is all right. HP 619, which is, I'd have to say, kind of like Escalados to some degree from the Empire's side. It's all right. It's okay. He's all right as a tank. He does a pretty decent job. I just kind of wish he had a little higher hit points, considering that the swordsman class in this game for hit points is just 105. It's not that good. Swordsmen's in this game, compared to the previous game with the samurai class or the shogun class, cannot tank as well as they could. Now, yes, they can give off more damage, and there's some chances for them to pull off some more critical blows and stuff to kill things faster, but as they kill things faster, they can also die faster. So, not as tanky as it was before. Now, you do get some, you know, hit point recovery being in the knight class, you know, and all that, and then a critical rate up of C, which is where you get your crits to kind of pop. And so Jose does have, you know, some good stuff as a you know, sort of the samurai class, which is kind of what it was. Let me turn this off real fast here. I get that to go. All right, so as level 19, we are not quite done as the Swordsmaster. Let's talk about some of this stuff here. Fang Slash, normal attack, deals moderate damage to a single adjacent enemy unit. Has 120 power. Pretty good power damage for that, plus 8 accuracy. So, I mean, you typically get decent accuracy as a swordsman. You don't get a lot of negatives with this, you know, which is pretty nice. Iaido Blade, which is not the same thing as it was previously. So this is a standing move. You pre-move, you gotta wait a turn to do it. It's got good power. Actually, it's sort of reversed in a way. In the past, the samurai class Iaido Blades would be a 2-range slashing attack. And now it's just a 1-range slashing attack. And in the past, it wasn't as strong. And now, for this game, it is stronger. So it's different. It's definitely different. It does cost MP again, like it did in the original game. The Iaido Slashes cost MP. Grand Edition took that completely away. It was a freebie. Always free ranged attacks, which was pretty cool. But some people, maybe they didn't like it. I'm not really sure. I honestly didn't care either way. But then you get this. You get Swift Stance, increases your AGI for a limited number of turns. So this basically just cranks up your agility so you can dodge things. And so instead of cranking up your defense like knights do, you crank up your agility. So essentially, swordsmen and swordsmasters are dodge tanks. That's what they are. You could try to turn them into a heavy tank with gear, and I would highly recommend doing that because the defense of 105 is about as squishy as most other knights can be. It's just slightly better, but not better enough, and half the things on the field have red dots, and these guys always have green, so you're kind of weak in a sense to a lot of red dragon and fire attacks. So even phoenixes will bring you down very easily. So I'm just gonna tell you right now, give them some freaking armor. You know, bring that D up. Make sure you got that higher. Essentially because these guys are supposed to be tanks. They're dodge tanks, but any kind of magic will just knock them around. And as you can see, intelligence of 77 is good, but not that great. I mean, not compared to some other guys. No, I'm not going to tell you that a lot of the knights and all that have really good intelligence and all that, but they do have naturally better defense. So, because of that, just get him some armor, please. You're going to thank me. You really are going to thank me. All right, so what is this guy about? Jose is a male, age 56, swordsman, leader of the mercenary troop Sid belongs to. Impressed by Ray's self-sacrificing death during a mission to the Manaslesia theocracy, he pays the shinobi village a visit. There he learns of the shinobi tribe's determination to fight for their freedom and decides to join their cause. As well as a well-traveled mercenary with battle achievements all across the continent, his knowledge and experience will certainly prove invaluable to the shinobi tribe. So essentially he's a good tank. He's pretty reliable, but as a force tank, as a dodge tank, as a, you know, a crit guy, evasion artist, you have to evade. You just have to. If you start getting hit, you might go down in like 4 hits. And you might be like, but he's got 600 hit points. I know that, but sometimes you get hit pretty hard. And once you get pincered, if you let him get pincered, that dodge evasion just falls to pieces. And in this game, when you get surrounded, you can get surrounded by 2 spaces away instead of just 1 space sometimes. So dodge tanks are even riskier to play in this game than they were in the previous iterations. So in this game, it really comes down to just full up bulk tanking with hit points and defense. And you want to play a dodge artist, that's perfectly fine, and that's a great challenge. But don't go crying to me when you fall apart because you didn't put enough defense on this guy. I'm just telling you, this is something you're going to have to learn. And I'm sure if you already know this, you know this. Now you may be like, well, he recovers 3% of it max HP at the beginning of each turn. Okay, what is 3% of the max HP? Okay, so 10% of the max HP would be, you know, what it would be. And it's okay, but it's really not enough. You know, if it was like okay, let's say 10%. Okay, what would be 10% of 619? That would be 61, right? So 5% would be 30, and then 3% would be 20, 25. So you're only getting like 20, 25 hit points back each turn. You're not getting much back. So don't count on this as a saving rate. You know, even a loop heal would be nice, but it's not as good as a basic heal. You need to keep him surrounded by guys so he doesn't get surrounded. Or keep him in a forest, and then basically when you're fighting, pop the swift stance to increase the AGI, which will increase his agility from like 81 up to, I don't know, maybe like 110. It could go that high. You know, as far as like how the game is trying to make this out. And but yeah, you can see the AGI is high because he's a dodge artist. He can also hit things, you know, pretty much most of the time, almost nonstop. But like I said, with dodge tanks, just be careful. And if you really want to use him more, make sure you are questing for weapons and armor. If you don't, and you rely on these guys a lot, and then they fail, it's because they don't have enough defense. Like other tanks and other knights are going to get up to 120 defense, maybe 140 defense, while you're stuck at 105 for most of the game. Now when you go up to the next level, yeah, you get up a little more defense, but it's still not enough. So that's really all I can say. I hope this helped a bit. And let me know what you think of Jose. Let me know what you think of the samurai classes here. They've definitely been changed from the previous one, and now it's really a serious dodge artist. In the previous one, the Shogun in Grand Edition, I could put them in the front line and they could take a bunch of damage, and they could dish it out too. They had more tanky abilities, but now it's all about that luck stat. So RNG well, everybody. I will see you in the next Brigandine guide video. Take care.